Welcome back. Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course, the Diamond K Show on firetelevision.com. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Here in the program, we deliver the biggest political and trending news stories of the day with interviews and original reporting from Baltimore, Atlanta, Dallas, and beyond. Show is fun, show is upbeat, but I also want to expose what is really happening in this country. Whole lot of things going on. I'm going to give you politics from an independent perspective. If a Republican is wrong, I'm going to call it out. If a Democrat's wrong, I'm going to call it out too. Join me weekdays, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. for the Diamond K Show. Visit onfiretelevision.com. Today's story is out of Brunswick, Georgia. And this is just a tragedy. There's no silver lining with this story. No way to bring back the murdered Ahmaud Arbery. 3 white men convicted of murdering him. If you remember, they chased him down and killed him. They were sentenced to life in prison on Friday, with a judge denying any chance of parole for the father and son who armed themselves and initiated the deadly pursuit of the late 25-year-old black man, Ahmaud Arbery. Superior Court Judge Timothy Walmsley said that Arbery left his house for a jog and ended up running for his life for 5 minutes as these men chased him until they finally cornered him. Terrible story. And the murder happened almost 2 years ago, February of 2020. So the judge paused for a minute of silence to help drive home a sense of what that time must have felt like for Ahmaud Arbery. His killing has become part of a larger national reckoning on racial injustice. And as I said earlier, the sentencing, the life in prison of these 3 murderers is not going to bring back Ahmaud Arbery. It is not. But it is what is deserved in this case. The judge had a lot of pressure on him. Obviously, a lot of eyeballs. The attorneys for these murderers, killers, they were even playing the race card. Kind of shows you the mindset of their clients. They just kept the whole thing going that was already going. The racism. Talking about black preachers in the courtroom, all this kind of stuff. There was a lot of things going on. So the judge sentenced them life in prison. The judge said this: when I thought about this, I thought from a lot of different angles. Judge Walmsley said, I kept coming back to the terror that must have been in the mind of the young man running through Satilla Shores. He said, mentioning the neighborhood where Ahmaud Arbery was killed. Greg and Travis McMichael grabbed guns, jumped in a pickup truck to chase Arbery after spotting him running in their neighborhood outside of the port city of Brunswick, Georgia, February 23rd, to be exact, of 2020. So they see a guy jogging, a black man jogging in their neighborhood. And according to them, they think that he's done something wrong. I mean, he can't just be jogging, right? He had to have been running from the scene of a crime. So call the police. No, they don't want to do that. They want to take things into their own hands. So the real message that I hope gets through is some of you white folks have got to stop doing this. Call the police. Don't take it upon yourself to be the police. You're not the police. They weren't the police. But they thought that they had the right to chase this guy down, who's just going for a jog. He ain't doing nothing. And end up killing him. So their neighbor, William Roddie Bryan, joined this pursuit in his own truck. So they are chasing 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery down in this truck. Guns, pickup trucks. This definitely was a moment of terror for this young man, 25 years old. Then they recorded a cell phone video of Travis McMichael firing close-range shotgun blast into Arbery. He was not posing any threat. So if they were trying to play he's a threat, like he wasn't a threat. They're in pickup trucks with guns. He's running on foot. And kill him. So these guys hunt down an unarmed man, take his life, because what? What is the reason? What is the reason that his life was taken? That was never described in a way that made sense to me. So the judge ordered the McMichaels to serve life without parole and granted the neighbor, Roddie Bryan, the chance to earn parole after 30 years. A few dozen supporters cheered the Arbery family as they exited the courtroom Friday. And the civil attorney, Benjamin Crump, said that today your son has made history because we have people who are being held accountable for lynching a black man in America. This is progress, considering how things have gone for the most part in these type of situations. Murder carries a mandatory sentence of life in prison under Georgia law, unless prosecutors seek the death penalty, which they opted against in this case. During the sentencing hearing, the Arbery family had asked the judge to show no lenience in deciding whether to grant an eventual chance at parole. Understandable. Arbery's mother said that she suffered a personal intense loss made worse by a trial where the defense was that her son had made bad choices that led to his death. A complete and utter lie. This wasn't a case of mistaken identity or mistaken fact. These three murderers, these three white men, made a conscious effort to target her son because they did not want him in their community, their air quotes community. And when they could not sufficiently scare or intimidate him, they killed him. The sentences matched the recommendations of the prosecutor, who said that they all deserved mandatory life sentencing for showing no empathy for trapping and terrifying Ahmaud Arbery. They showed no empathy, and they don't deserve any empathy. So the McMichaels' defense attorney argued that their clients deserved the possibility of parole because the killing was unplanned, an unintentional act. Bryan's lawyer said that he showed remorse and cooperated with police, turning over the cell phone video that helped them get to the truth. He wanted some, he throw him a bones, what he was saying. Said that Bryan wasn't the one who brought the gun there. He was unarmed. And his attorney says that I think that reflects his intentions. Bryan's 52 years old, raising the chances that he will spend the remainder of his life in prison, even with the chance of parole, right? So he's 52 82? Is he going to make it to 82? I don't know. The guilty verdicts, of course, were handed down the day before Thanksgiving. And we got this sentencing Friday. Now, next month, the McMichaels and Bryan face a second trial, this time in U.S. District Court on federal hate crimes. The judge has set jury selection to begin February 7th. Prosecutors will argue that the three men violated Arbery's civil rights and targeted him because he was black. The facts of the case seem to point in that direction. Yeah, so don't feel sorry for these pieces of crap, these murderers. Don't feel sorry for them. They are getting what they deserve. Some people may think that they deserve more than that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Of course, The Diamond K Show is an On Fire television production. You can get the program on demand at the WRF Radio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and of course, youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. Like, subscribe, and share. Here at the Diamond K Show, we are very excited about the WRF Radio app. Take a moment to download WRF Radio in your app store. Leave me a comment. You can scroll your timeline, attend a Zoom meeting on mute, or do some online shopping while listening to the Diamond K Show. Now, we're going to do this. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with more of the program. Stay locked right here on FireTelevision.com. Welcome back. You man, Diamond K in here. Of course, thank you for joining me. The Diamond K Show is sponsored by Tasty Moscato. If you could pour sexy into a glass, this would be it. This smooth, seductive Moscato wine blended with vanilla takes your palate to a whole another level of taste meat. Unlike most, Tasty Moscato can be deliciously paired with a variety of meats, cheeses, veggies, as well as desserts. It's the sweet taste of luxury that you've been craving. You can check them out on all social media. And that is Tasty Moscato. So, of course, we are back here on the program. A lot of things I want to get into. 8 HBCUs received bomb threats. Thankfully, there were not any devices located, but this happening last week. There have not been any black female governors in U.S. history, but that may change this year, 2022. 5 black women are chasing history this midterm election cycle by running for governor. The candidates are seeking a diverse range of governorships in states known for their progressive politics, as well as historically conservative states with a long, complicated history with regards to black Americans. So a black woman as governor would change any state house dynamic immediately. I'm of the mindset that black women can help us overcome the challenges that regular, everyday people are facing. They can help with that. A black female governor. Amazing. Race aside, women have had to overcome a disproportionate amount of opportunities to succeed in politics throughout the history of this country. I mean, who are we kidding? There's never been a female president. We do have Kamala Harris as vice president, and that's a milestone. That is a milestone. Women earned the right to vote only with the passing of the 19th Amendment just 100 years ago, a little bit over 100 years ago, 1920, women earned the right to vote. Now, for many Black women, it would take another 45 years and the passing of the Voting Rights Act in 1965. So look how far things have come with regards to that. There are just 9 female governors, 6 Democrats, and 3 Republicans, despite women representing a slight majority of the population. A lot of times, women have had to deal with other women doubting them and men in elections. Women who aspire to be governor have to strike the tricky balance of appearing tough enough for the job, but not too aggressive, because that would turn people off. And they can't be too emotional. I mean, there's a lot of dynamics here. There are a lot of things that women have to juggle. It is not an easy feat by no means. So we're going to see this election cycle. This election cycle is going to be probably the most important midterm that you've ever heard about. I'm not even going to say in your lifetime. I'm going to say that you ever heard about. And I know people say that over and over again. Oh, this is the big one. This is going to be the biggest one. But the stakes cannot be any higher. Is this country ready for Black female governor? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at On Fire Television. The Diamond K Show, of course, we drop episodes Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., but I don't want you to miss any of our live broadcasts. In addition to our 8 a.m. program, we drop content throughout the day as news happens. We also have a full lineup of programs, which we are going to be rolling out. We're going to be rolling out February 1. So hit that notification bell so you get an alert whenever we go live. Of course, you can follow the Diamond K Show on our Facebook page and click that bell, click the little bell thing so you get notified when I go live. And this happens throughout the day. In addition to the shows, when things happen. On Fire Television is an advertiser-supported audio and video network. Get breaking news, podcasts, and TV shows covering topics that are important to our culture. OnFireTelevision.com is where you go to discover, engage, and connect with the latest news, podcast, and original TV programs. You want to support the Diamond K Show? You can do that very easy. Head on over to OnFireTelevision.com, grab a t-shirt or some other merch, become a sponsor of the Diamond K Show for as little as $50. I'm able to deliver our news and our views on this program because of our listeners, sponsors, and of course, your donations and your help. We are powered by the people, and we appreciate your support. So let's do this. Take a quick break. Come back with more of the show after this. So I was talking about the midterm elections, and, one candidate that comes to mind, GOP candidate Dr. Oz, facing new scrutiny over his medical claims. I mean, every celebrity who uses their fame to try to translate that into a successful political career. Donald Trump isn't the first one. I mean, you've had Ronald Reagan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Al Franken. There's a famous people think that they can do the same thing, but some of them learn quickly that they just can't. I mean, Kanye comes to mind. Caitlyn Jenner comes to mind. Now, politics has always drawn its fair share of joke candidates and people on the fringe. There's a point where the presence of a fully unqualified candidate is neither funny nor is it helpful. Quite frankly, it's dangerous when we have these unqualified candidates who just happen to be famous running. It's disturbing. It's disturbing in this era of Insta fame or TikTok clout, the endless celebrity worship that happens now. It's no wonder that many reality TV stars think running for office is just another way to get clicks, subscribers, and likes, or just keep their names trending. This is a serious thing. We're talking about politics. How else can we explain the candidacy of Mehmet Oz, Dr. Mehmet Oz? Many of you just call him Dr. Oz. So, of course, he rose to fame thanks to Oprah. Thank you, Oprah Winfrey. And has made some weird COVID claims. And has been, pushing a pretty shady diet product as of late. Dr. Oz is running for the Pennsylvania seat vacated by Senator Pat Toomey. Even though Dr. Oz lives in New Jersey, let's not even go there. It appears that one of the GOP's new favorite things, Dr. Oz. What? I mean, I just don't understand why. I mean, I guess I do, because it's a popularity contest, partially for some voters who are not fully engaged. This is a straight popularity contest. Straight popularity contest. So Dr. Oz jumped on the chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine bandwagon and pushed them as ways to treat COVID-19 during over 25 appearances on Fox News in the spring of 2020. He then reversed his take after a Veterans Affairs study showed that COVID-19 patients treated with hydroxychloroquine were more likely to die than untreated patients. He then backed off those talking points. If you watch the Dr. Oz show, there is a less than 50-50 chance that the medical information you are getting is reliable. So why is this guy, running for office in a state that he doesn't even live in? Because of fame, because of the times that we live in. We have got to stop with the celebrity worship. We have got to stop with the pushing of these clearly candidates who are not qualified. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Don McKay Show, at On Fire Television. Man, this race, this midterm, you're going to hear folks talking about it. You're going to hear people hammering just how important it is. And it is very important. It is very important. Contrary to what you may hear Democrats or Republicans say, for that matter, this election is important. Every election is important. And speaking of elections, the fear of extremist violence, which, I mean, it goes back before January 6th, 2021. But during that time, of course, we are over a year after this tragic event, 5 deaths. This mob of, 2,000 to 2,500 people, supporters of then President Donald Trump attacked the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Right? The big lie narrative that Donald Trump pushed, that he was somehow unfairly kicked out of office. He really secretly won the race, but the elections only are only right if he wins. And you have many people pushing this, what they call the big lie. The big lie. The lie is that Trump didn't lose the election. That's the lie. And you have his supporters pushing this garbage, riling up people who just believe the lie. Oh, and it is a lie. Right? So you have this insurrection. We are now 1 year from an insurrection at the Capitol, on TV, videos, folks lost their lives, whole thing. Whole thing. So there's a committee, the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. I don't know what's going to come of this. There have been information requests to Sean Hannity, to Representative Jordan, to Representative Perry. There have been all kinds of things. They have a website, January 6th.house.gov. Chairman Thompson is interested in any information regarding the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. There is a report information on January 6th attack link. They have a tip line on their website. Website is January6th.house.gov. We respect your need to remain confidential, and we will use your contact information only to follow up with you regarding your submission. So they are using social media to their, I guess, to their advantage. The posts are not that often. I mean, maybe they're weekly, I guess. So looking at December, they had a post December the 8th, and they release some statements. December 9th, December 10th, the 13th, 14th, 16th, the 20th, 22nd, and January 4th. January 4th, we got the information that Chairman Benny Thompson, Democrat, and the Vice Chair Liz Cheney, Republican, announced that the Select Committee was seeking information from Fox News host Sean Hannity about information relevant to the committee's investigation into the violent attack of January 6th and its causes. So you have a full text on that. And I don't know what's going to happen from this. I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of pomp and circumstance. I see a lot of, stuff. They have a Twitter page. They got a Facebook page. They got all this stuff. So it's easy to follow. But at the same time, what is going to come of this? Where are we going with this? Where are we going? Not sure. I mean, we don't want to just see a whole bunch of performance. I don't want to see a whole bunch of performance. 1 year ago, last week, the brave members of law enforcement answered the call for service in D.C. and the country. So I want to thank the brave officers for their courage and their fortitude, and for the risks that they take every day to protect those who depend on them to keep this country safe. Definitely. At the same time, I mean, we have these low-level folks that are, I mean, if you want to say they're being held accountable, okay. But at the same time, we have the folks that put it in motion, right? So you have a murderer, a hitman. You want to get the trigger man. This is true. But you also want to get who paid the trigger man. I want to make sure, and I'm hoping that the organizers of this horrific insurrection, the organizers, I hope that the select committee holds them accountable. Now, it says that the select committee is conducting a nonpartisan, thorough investigation of January 6th. As of January 7th this year, 1 year, they said that they have gotten information from 340 plus witnesses, received 45,000 plus documents, and are following up on nearly 350 tips. They said that they will not tolerate obstruction, and we will not rest until our task is complete. I hear you. We are over 1 year later. And I don't know how much more information we have in this year. I mean, we saw a lot of it on camera, as it was happening. The American people are owed a fair investigation, a thorough investigation to what led to this. We definitely have to ensure that this dark day never happens again. History is definitely watching. History is watching. Trump definitely played a role in this. What is that role? There are others. Giuliani, remember him? They don't even talk about Giuliani anymore. 1 year later, the memory of January the 6th is painful. This country was disrespected. But as difficult as it may be, we cannot forget it. And these Democrats and Republicans have got to hold these folks accountable. Anyone who denies the truth of what happened on January the 6th ought to be ashamed of themselves. Any American that does that, we know what happened. We saw it. We saw it happen. We saw it happen on our TV screens. Now, whether or not they were there because they thought that Trump wanted them there, doesn't matter. They were there, and they all should be held accountable. And he should be held accountable. We heard what he said before the attack began. We must preserve our democracy so that another January the 6th does not happen again. If a mob of Biden supporters had stormed the Capitol to overturn the election, or a mob of Hillary Clinton supporters had stormed the Capitol, Republicans would be losing their minds trying to lock these people up, trying to lock Hillary Clinton. They wanted to lock Hillary Clinton up for some emails. Your man Don McKay in here. The Don McKay Show on firetelevision.com. I am here weekdays, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. And we're talking about this January the 6th. I mean, a little bit over 1 year later, we're remembering the bravery of the law enforcement who held the line in the face of this violent riot. I'm surprised that they didn't shoot more people, more than 150 of whom were injured. Oh, by the people that claimed that they want law and order. This was the U.S. Capitol. This wasn't a Macy's. This wasn't, some smash and grab robbery where a couple people. This is the U.S. Capitol. We cannot forget how close we came that day to losing our democracy. So the committee, they have been releasing information here and there and here, the select committee. So they have text messages, they have, cell phone footage, they got all kind of stuff, right? I want them to get to it. I want them to get to it. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Of course, I will be back later on today. You want to support the program? Very easy to do that. Head on over onfiretelevision.com. Grab some merch. Real easy to do that. On Fire Television is an interactive streaming channel dedicated to people of color. Now, whether it's news, movies, documentaries, music, or podcasts, On Fire Television celebrates the culture. Start streaming today, onfiretelevision.com, and join me, Diamond K, as I unpack breaking news and issues affecting Americans. Weekdays, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. It's the Diamond K Show on Apple Podcasts and onfiretelevision.com.